The Helpful Gardeners podcast is on the road this week.
Well, just from sitting here, you look straight ahead and you can see 3 planters in the mall.
Yes, exactly. All decked out in holiday.
Yep.
There's certain plants that come out at certain times of year, and then it gets you excited for that season.
We can get housebound and maybe a little stir crazy, maybe.
If they didn't, I feel like the mall would be the same all year and it would kind of get old, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I do have an appreciation for the aesthetic.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Colin, this isn't the podcast studio.
What? Oh my God.
What? Where did we go?
Where the hell? I've been drinking eggnog all day in my defense, so.
Same! I have an eggnog latte going on right there from Starbucks. The Helpful Gardeners podcast is on the road this week.
Yes,
I love when we get out of the podcast studio. I love our studio, but it's just a lot of fun to go and experience our community in different ways.
A podcast studio is like home, and this is like a vacation.
Yeah.
Right?
Were you ever that kid in school where you were like, can we do school outside? Or can we go on, whatever?
So, years ago, I did an aptitude test. And anyway, long story short, if you scored 1 to 10, it meant that you hated formal education settings all the way up to 91 to 100, you thrived.
Yeah.
I scored 4.
Oh, okay.
And they asked me why, and I said, I don't want to sit indoors with 30 other people in a row looking forward. That's not how my brain learns. My brain learns being outside and smelling things and touching things. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I graduated to the way I did in life and wanted to touch plants and plant and be in nature. So yeah, I do have an appreciation for the aesthetic. I like you said, I love our studio. It's comfortable. It's cozy. We know it.
Yeah.
But getting out and seeing all of this new couch. And,
And you know what I love? I love that plants can inspire us in different ways too. One of the things that I noticed, and by the way, by the time this podcast goes out, we won't be downtown Calgary at the core anymore. So you can't come and visit us. However, we wanted to kind of come down and get a feel because, I feel like this time of year, it's cold out, the snow is out. We spend a lot of time inside. It's cozy vibes, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's still value in going out and experiencing your community. And I think plants have a big way, like a big influence in that. I mean, we're right outside the Rocky Mountain Soap Company and there's plants in the window, right?
Yep.
I find around the holiday season, our spaces like malls and community centers and schools and libraries, that kind of thing, they all kind of transform. And you see a lot more plants kind of becoming at the forefront. And
to touch on that a little bit, you also see people take existing plants and do what we talked about, I think it was just last week with Lucas and Eduardo.
Yes.
And people decorate plants. And the great thing about it, you're right, we can get housebound and maybe a little stir crazy, maybe not now because Christmas is coming, but January, February, take advantage of the +15 system.
Yeah.
You can walk from one end of downtown to the other without having to go out into the brutal temperatures.
I didn't realize +15 is not a regular thing.
No.
So we should probably explain that if you're not from Calgary and you're listening to the podcast. What is a +15? What are they talking about?
That's lovely weather. That's lovely weather to be outside.
You can get from one end to the other end at 15 degrees. What? No, +15 essentially means it's a pathway across the road 15 feet up.
Yep. So right now, I know you can't really see much of what's behind us, but we're sitting on a couch. There's a decor truck behind us. This is the area where we have our little plant shop.
Yeah.
And this is a bridge.
Yeah.
This goes over, I think, 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th Street. I can just keep counting. No, it would have to be a street because it runs north-south.
3rd Street. It's Barclay Avenue. That's all I know. Barclay Street.
Yeah, but it's...
I don't know. I don't know where we are.
The thing is, so a couple of years ago I was here because we come down for Earth Week.
Yes, that's right.
And somebody had asked me if I would do a presentation for them. And I said, yeah, sure. And it was raining. It was miserable spring day. Like 7 degrees and just wet. And I made it all the way to the Bow building from here.
Yeah.
without once going outside.
Which is probably like 6 blocks? Something like that?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, all inside. Which is such a cool aspect of Calgary. It's so cool. And along that entire stretch, you'd probably find a lot of plants. I think, office buildings downtown, no matter where you live, often have houseplants, and they, it's got a big business too for maintenance companies who are dealing with plants as well.
Yep. Well, just from sitting here, you look straight ahead and you can see 3 planters in the mall.
Yes, exactly. All decked out in holiday, right? And one of the cool things I found just on my way to this space in the core was this sort of like long planter that was sort of surrounded by marble. It's a very beautiful space, and all it does is just connect this one building with the mall. That's its purpose. But it has just these Norfolk pines and Dracaena and Poinsetta just along the entire stretch. And it looks so beautiful. And it got me thinking, like, why do we put so much emphasis and effort into decorating the spaces that we have in our lives, in public and private, with plants?
It inspires us and it gives us a sense of comfort. Like if you came to the mall, if you came to the call, and even though we're not at the call, come to the call because there are a great bunch of people here. I love them all. But if you came to the call at, in April, and they had poinsettias, you'd feel like something's disconnected.
Yeah.
Like this isn't right. Like I appreciate the color, but that's not right. And you come in the autumn and it's all oranges and pumpkins and chrysanthemums, and you go, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, plants are very seasonal, aren't they? It's kind of like, you're totally right. It's almost like getting the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. It's like there's certain plants that come out at certain times of year, and then it gets you excited for that season.
So if Starbucks did pumpkin spice lattes in April, you wouldn't drink one?
No.
Really?
I know. And I don't know if that makes me weird. It's just,
I think that's cool.
I sort of reserve it. So
because then it loses its
this is off topic, but mini eggs are now year round, okay? And that's the one thing where I will eat mini eggs any time of the year. But it kind of made me sad because it's available now all year instead of that one special time of year. And it kind of makes them, I don't know, less nostalgic, just more mainstream. It's
you wouldn't want to see a candy cane in June.
Yeah, exactly. It almost seems, like you said, out of place, right? So it's kind of cool when the spaces in the communities that we live in follow along and make it special. Because if they didn't, I feel like the mall would be the same all year, and it would kind of get old, wouldn't it?
Yeah. How many people will go out into their own communities to see the lights? To drive around and be and how many times, like the other night I was walking Jimmy and we went to the park and we walked into the park and some guy was like, you might not want to go in there, dude, there's 2 big coyotes, they just chased us out. And sure enough, across the park I could see one of them. It was a big coyote, so I was like, okay, Jimmy, change your plans. So we walked kind of big long loop through a couple of neighborhoods, and I ended up taking pictures of like 2 or 3 houses to show Jenny when I got home.
Oh, cool.
One of them was all winter, but Disney themed.
Nice.
So it was a mixture, if I remember rightly, like Mickey Mouse and Frozen.
No, okay,
I think
cool.
Frozen's Disney, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a mixture of those. One of them was just OTT. Like any square inch was Christmas. And then the other one, looked like it was done by a designer.
Wow.
But it was so fun seeing all the different, fun enough that me who, I don't really put up lights. I don't really change my decor too much. Enough for somebody like me to stop and be like, I need a photo.
Yeah. I mean, there's the Christmas house in Calgary that sits on top of Crescent Hill. You were even mentioning kind of near your house, there's this Lions Festival of Lights.
Yep.
And every year they transform a golf course, of all things, into a Christmas light walkway.
Yeah. And they've got a tobogganing hill.
Yeah.
You can go across the bridges and it's lit up. And then they're lit up so you can see them, but there's areas that are more hidden. There's big areas that you can't miss. And you go out and I went out one time because I was like, there won't be a lot of people. It's like minus 30. So I put on all my winter gear, went out. It was hopping. And I was like, damn, people they will brave those. if there were no lights and it was minus 30, there would have been not one person there.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's lights and there's a toboggan hill and it is jam-packed.
Yeah. So what I think we're trying to get at with this episode is just, it can be really easy to stay inside and just be really inward with your own houseplants. And that's okay too.
Yep.
But there's this whole other world that I think sometimes we sort of just ignore, or it's just become part of the landscaping. We don't really think about it. When you go into malls or your libraries, your community centers and that kind of thing, maybe just flip on that switch in your brain and maybe look a little bit beyond and be like, oh, there's plants here.
If it's somewhere you go regularly, try and, make a point of looking and go, what are they doing in April? What are they doing for Easter? What do they do for Canada Day?
And how does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Right? I love that.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. Opinions expressed by the helpful gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!